Good evening and welcome to Fall Sports Talk with Foxborough Cable Access. I'm Ashley D'Ambra and we're here with Foxborough High School field hockey coach Bo Derry and our three captains. We have Megan Sweeney, Heather O'Rourke, and Allie Valencia. So Coach Bo Derry, you just started preseason last week.
We did.
What has been your focus so far?
The focus, we primarily focusing more on defense. We lost a lot of girls last year. We're going to have a hard time. We've got a new varsity goalie coming into the net. So we're really going to have to beef up our defense this year. These girls provide a lot of offense for me, so I'm not real concerned as much about the offense as I am the defense. So just kind of getting back into shape, definitely number one, and focusing on getting the team together and making a cohesive team again, since we do have a lot of young girls coming in. A lot of young girls will probably be on the varsity as well, and just kind of gear up for the season, since we did lose a lot of good players last year.
How many players did you lose?
I believe we lost 5 players last year.
That was 7.
7.
Yeah.
But they were my starting, forwards, my goalie. A good amount of defense. They were all starters, all the girls for the most part that graduated. So we do have, we've got great returning players, but we do have a young group, and so we're kind of in the next couple of days looking to scrimmage a lot and see who's going to be playing what position. There's going to be new positions this year, so it's going to be a little bit different than it was last year, I think. But defense is key.
Good. So you talk about positions. What if you don't mind answering, what formation are you playing this year? Like in terms of offense, midfield, and defense?
4-3-2-1.
4-3-2-1.
Yeah. In high school, I find that it's easier to do a 4-3-2-1 rather than a 3-3-3-1, which is probably what you were used to playing in college. And with high school play, it's not as it's not as quick. It's not as finesse as it is in college. And with a 3-3-3-1, I think you do better with having less offense. But in high school, I think the biggest thing is getting those forwards downfield and into the circle. And when you play with more of a stacked forward line than your midfields, you've already got that offensive unit kind of downfield versus having one join in, and it works better that way with high school than with college.
Right. And I know you mentioned you're going to have like a young team this year. So as captains, how do you plan on motivating them and helping them bring it to the next level with you guys?
Well, we do like a lot of team bonding things. Like we went to camp in the summer.
Oh, nice.
And
what camp did you go to?
It's called Champions Edge.
What was it?
At Babson College.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of the young players go to that, so that was good.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
And captains practices, everyone comes together for that too.
Very good. And throughout this preseason, did you guys develop any like team goals, or if you have different goals for them? Just kind of talk about what you hope to accomplish with this season.
Well, we haven't really got as far as we kind of, well, I shouldn't say that. We kind of set the goals at the beginning of the season, and our biggest goal is to get back to the tournament. We've made it to the tournament 7 straight years now, or 6 straight years, I should say, and we're looking to make it 7 straight years, and that's probably our biggest goal right now, is making sure that we get back to the tournament. We don't want to make it come down to the last game of the season like we have the last 2 years. And, it's like heart attack city at the end of the season. So we're hoping to get that out of the way as quickly as we can during the season, and, focus on wins and putting the ball in net.
And so your first game is actually a non-conference game with Medfield, correct?
Yep.
How have you played them before?
We've never played them before.
Do you guys know anything about them?
No, actually, we don't know a whole heck of a lot about them. And I prefer not really knowing much about the team. I find that when we scout and you learn like who the best players are, we focus on that, and then that person ends up like not coming to play that day, or we kind of dealt with that in the tournament last year, where the best player that we played against, and I believe it was Carver, ended up she wasn't their best player. She was kind of taken out of the game, and so what we focused on, I don't know if it was because it worked so well, or really I prefer just kind of going in and playing our game as best we can, and then kind of setting the tone for the game.
Right. Exactly. Have you guys seen any? I know you have the new players as well. Have you seen any players that are going to make big contributions this season or a big impact?
I haven't. You guys?
Yeah, I think some of the younger girls are. They all came to captain's practice motivated, and a lot of them stayed after and wanted us to help them. Because in past years, I know a lot of them didn't come and just came to.
I think they know that they need to like step it up too because it is a young team. So we're like relying on them to come up and give us what we need.
Yeah, and this year in particular, we have a lot of young girls. Probably, I think 7 or 8 new girls that have never picked up a field hockey stick before.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, and it's that's always kind of an interesting dynamic because you're taking the time to make sure the young girls know the rules and know the game, but really know the rules and skill is kind of secondary to knowing how to play the game.
Right.
But we have a group of girls that really have great skill, and that's kind of half the battle sometimes is when they come in and they're fresh and have no idea how to play the game. But these girls really hustle a lot, and it's not as much work to get them started with the game as it usually is. So that's a good thing. I think that come 2-3 years from now will definitely pay off for us.
All right, and Allie, if you want to just talk about some of like the strengths that your team has heading into this game.
I think they really want to do good. Like they want to work hard. They want to not so much impress us, but they like during captain's practices, like Heather said, like a lot of them stayed after and they asked us like what they're doing wrong and what they could work on more, and so they're just really determined to get better.
So in terms of like offense and defense, what's your biggest strength? Like your attacking 25, your long hits, your free hits, like some of the technical things, if you kind of want to talk about some of that you've seen through this preseason, or areas you may need to work on. Maybe your 16s coming out need to be better, and kind of talk about, because I know a lot of people watching this may not know much about field hockey, so kind of just talk about that a little bit if you don't mind.
Cutting's always a big thing with us that we need to improve on, but like today we scrimmaged at the end. I thought a lot of us did that better, and like off the ball movement and not just standing around. And
Right.
we haven't done corners yet, but
So you are trying to develop your corner unit right now, offense and defensively?
We will starting tomorrow. It's just with preseasons trying to get back to basics. A lot of these girls, a good amount did attend like camp and captain's practices, but you find that once we get to preseason, everyone's rusty. No one's picked up a stick and a ball, or a lot of haven't picked up a stick and a ball all summer long. So it's kind of back to basics, and now we're kind of gearing up with gameplay and situational drills, and tomorrow's going to be just all corner practice and scrimmaging, and getting ready for our scrimmage against Attleboro. And that's really kind of the scrimmages versus Attleboro and the scrimmage we have next week against Bellingham. I'm not so much worried about wins or losses with that. It's really to see where our strengths and weaknesses are. It's kind of it's easy to see during practice what areas we need to work on, but it's really clear during a scrimmage when we're in a game-like atmosphere, and you can see what's working and what's not working. So we'll probably do a lot of corners tomorrow and see who's going to work what. Heather will be taking a lot of our corners this year. She's definitely got the hardest hit on the team, and Megan is probably going to be the same spot she was last year. The good thing is our corner unit, we have a lot of girls who can fill in, and girls who were on it last year too, so they'll be able to fill in, and I think our corner unit will be pretty good.
Yeah. So like with the corner, you have someone pushing out and someone receiving. Do you kind of receive upright on your own, or?
Yep.
And so you have a lot of options, or is it mainly straight hits to the goal?
No, we have a lot of options. Yeah, I think the majority of our hits will go straight up to the top of the circle and then an option from there. But no stick stopping with grass. And in high school, the skill isn't there. It's a little bit more advanced than you'll see in high school. So no stick stopping or anything like that. But we do have options, the give and goes and that sort of thing. Yeah.
How about defensive corners? Have you been strong with those in the past, or is that?
Yeah, we have, and it's funny because our defensive unit always surprises me. It's always a new girl that will step up, and she kind of comes out of the woodwork in defensive corners. And like last year, it was Lindsay McGarry, who first year playing, unbelievable. Never picked up a stick before, and came out and really shined for us, and particularly in corners. She has no fear whatsoever. She would fly out and. She was just unbelievable. It was like raw skill, and she did well at breaking up corner play. So yeah, we do pretty good on defensive corners. We have Callie McLaughlin, who's going to be our goalie this year, is new to varsity, but her improvement is 100% over last year, and really stepped it up. And I think she's going to do really well for us on varsity.
So do you guys kind of want to talk about what your position is and your role on the team, if you're involved in any specialty, like strokes or corners? We'll start with you and just kind of work our way back.
Last year I played mid, but this year at camp I played forward, and I like that better. But but corners, I usually go to goalie's pads and try to deflect it in when Heather takes a hit.
Center mid. I pretty much take the hits.
Yeah.
Corners, free hits, long hits.
Heather takes a lot of hits.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How about you?
I usually play defense or mid. During camp, I played mid, and us three have all played together for like 4 years now, so we usually all work pretty well together.
Good.
Yeah.
So last year, how'd you guys finish in the Hockomock League?
What was that? 8? No, it was 8.
We were close.
You would ask that, Ashley.
Sorry.
I want to say it was 8. 875.
Are we
Yeah.
sixth
I think-
place?
Oh, in the,
Sixth place?
I think that was.
That was with the tournament.
Yeah, that was the tournament. Yeah, we were 500.
Okay.
We were 500 team going into the tournament. So like I said, it went down to the last game of the season, and we needed that win to get into the tournament. So we were 500 going into the tournament, and then got to the second round. So.
So who will be your toughest competition in the Hockomock this league this year? I'm sorry.
Canton usually always is.
Always.
Mansfield.
OA.
Well, they
yeah.
all are this year, I think.
Yeah, honest to God, it really is. It's one of the best leagues in the state as far as competition. Yeah, because I think last year out of the 9 teams, 6 of them went to the tournament. And these girls really do face unbelievable competition. Like Canton, they had 4 girls go Division I last year, and there were a couple of close games that we had with Canton. And Oliver Ames had a couple girls go Division I, and so it's definitely they see a lot of good competition. So I think almost every single team is going to give us a run.
Yeah, it's going to be close this year.
Franklin's up and coming.
Is
Like
it?
they have a lot of really good players, and especially everyone's going to turf
I
now.
was just gonna say, do you
Yeah.
guys like playing on turf, or do you feel you're at a disadvantage?
Well, we
or
get used to it from camp,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
so that's like the down part. We play on it for a week, like at camp. So
right.
And
then we
you
come
switch
back to the grass,
Yeah.
and it's harder to play. But
Yeah.
I like the turf. I like
Yeah,
seeing them
too.
play on the turf. I think they have more control, and
It's faster.
it's definitely faster. I think that
Spread
the
out more,
skills, the skill work is so much better on turf.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I'd love to see Boxburg at turf.
Right. Well, there's like everyone has it now.
Yeah.
Mansfield, Canton,
Franklin does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think who else is getting it? Oliver Ames.
Oliver Ames, I
is
think.
getting it? Yeah.
So will all those games be on the turf, or do you still play with them, against them on the grass?
Most of them are on turf. If they have
Yeah.
like Franklin, we always play them on turf. Mansfield, for the most part, we play them on turf. Canton's on turf. Yeah, so I think for the most part, it's all going to be mostly turf games.
Oh, that's pretty
Yeah.
good. What was that? So your toughest competition will probably be Canton. What are some things that you'll work on to pick up your game in the Hockomock League in terms of skill and like technical things such as like I guess like free hits and specialty situations again?
I think most of it's mental though.
Most
Just
of
because
them.
if we go in there thinking like, oh, they're really good, then it usually brings us down. But usually when we go in, just not think about it, we play better.
Right.
But Canton's usually, they have good skills and they're hard to defend, but in corners we take advantage of those.
Do you usually have a good percentage with corners in terms of shots on goal?
No.
No.
Yeah, I'd say the last 2 years, our corner unit has been, our offensive corner unit is kind of, it's kind of taken a nosedive. We're not generating enough corners, and then we're not capitalizing on the corners that we have. I know last year they used to argue all the time that, but yeah, we scored on, we scored on the corner. It was a 1-0 game. It was, it was a big thing for them if it was a corner goal, because I was constantly harping that, we practice corners and we spend so much time in corners in practice, and then we get to a game and we're not generating corners, and if you're not generating corners, that's like such a huge opportunity to get a goal. So, and I always felt like we had such a strong corner unit, but just we couldn't execute them during games well. Yeah, we did score on a fair amount of corners, but there were so many opportunities that we had missed because our corner unit didn't work. So it's definitely always a focus for us. And it's definitely hard to make practices as intense game-like as the game actually is. And I think that kind of hurt us, particularly like last year, that we didn't practice, or we couldn't get geared up enough or in practice to do the corners the way we would in a game. So I think that's something that we're going to need to focus on this year, definitely. Yeah. We don't want to miss those opportunities.
So how have you kind of modified your preseason practices? Have you been able to kind of motivate your team to kind of practice like you play, or has that kind of been a challenge as captains?
I think this season's been like that so far.
It's been what so far?
Like
Pretty good.
I'm like not fooling around. Like
Yeah,
last
no,
year.
they've been pretty serious.
Pretty focused.
Yeah, I think they're focused. Yeah, definitely. And I think especially with the younger girls, they ask a lot of questions. They seem, definitely interested in wanting to know more, and definitely pay attention when mistakes are being pointed out, and when I'm making changes to any sort of situational play. These girls know that how to be during practice, but I think it's always the younger girls you have to kind of mold into how we want practice to go. I think they've done a really good job of it, and I think it has a lot to do with these girls, because they are a really good example for the younger kids. They don't fool around. They're pretty serious during practice. They hustle during plays, and it's all leading by example. And I think the younger girls have seen that and emulating that.
So how do you kind of keep the team positive through some of like the ups and downs?
Pretty much just cheering everyone on. Like when we run the 2 mile, everyone's like trying to push each other like further.
So
And,
we've been doing like a lot of conditioning and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's a big focus.
Yeah,
for
we
you
just
guys.
try to pump each other up
Yeah.
when we need it.
Mhm.
And you can like tell when people are down. So
So kind of going back, what were your goals long term? Like, where do you want to see yourself finish in the Hawk or in the tournament, or just develop as a team?
I don't want it to come down to the last game like last year.
Yeah.
But I want to come out strong this year and have people be like, "Oh, Foxborough really is good this year," and not think that because we lost a lot of players that we weren't going to come out as a good team.
Yeah, I think I want to finish in the top 3 and definitely make it to tournament early. Don't want to wait till like the last week or 2.
we can win Hawk.
And
Win Hawk would be
win
nice.
Hawk would be good. Yeah.
Don't forget that.
That'd be fun.
So what are some of the things you're gonna do to prepare yourself for those? Like, I know you guys are talking about mental stuff a lot, but in terms of like physical things, like what do you need to work on? Is it stick skills, or is it more positional things, or is it maybe marking?
Yeah, communicating.
Well, during camp, because we had a game every night, like every night we set a different goal.
Okay.
Whether it was talking, spreading out more, cutting. So every day we would get better, and
You could like see the improvement.
every day we got
It was
so
so,
much better, just because like we would sit them down and talk, like you really need to talk more and spread out, and we'd explain to them, and so we just kind of need to make sure we set like a goal and make sure we're talking more and spreading out like we did at camp.
Like one game at a time. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's what we need to do.
So in terms of communication, can you kind of just describe what you're talking about? So
Like knowing where you are on the field, like if you're saying, you got me, I'm here, and
Yeah,
just
letting
stuff
other
like that.
people know where you are and
Yeah.
just, like you're open for a pass. Or
Not crashing on the ball.
right.
Yeah.
Are you guys planning on playing next year, or do you know where you're going to school? Have you thought about that, or do you hope to play at the collegiate level?
Yeah, I want to.
Mm-hmm.
Probably Division 3 or 2.
Mhm.
That's pushing it, but I don't know.
Have you been looking at any schools?
Yeah, Worcester State,
Mm-hmm.
Southern Connecticut, Southern Maine, UMass Dartmouth.
Mm-hmm. How about Heather?
Yeah, I want to play next year.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at like Bridgewater, Fitchburg, schools like that.
Nice. Allie?
Yep, I do, and I'm looking at so far I've looked at URI, University of New England, and UMass Lowell. I also want to do physical therapy in school, so I'm looking at one of those kind of schools.
Is there anything else you guys want to finish up by saying about the team, your season?
Come out and watch us.
Yeah.
Good point, Allie.
Okay. More fans, the better.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pumps
Love
us
it.
up.
Anything else?
No, we're looking forward to the season. I think it's going to be
Yeah.
a good year. It's going to be
Excited.
different. It's good. I think it's going to be an exciting season. We have, like I said, we have a lot of competition up against us, but Foxborough I think will be one of those schools that going to be kind of the sleeper school that people aren't going to really expect us to do a whole heck of a lot. And I think the last couple of years people have kind of counted us out, and we always come back and surprise other teams. And
Underdog.
I kind of like being the underdog. I love being the underdog.
Really?
Yeah, I'd much rather be the underdog. I think because of that, the girls
like
kind of
being
like
that
being
too.
underdog too. And
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, we're looking forward to the season. We'll see how it plays out, and I think we're gonna have a good team this year.
Mm-hmm. So you guys don't feel pressure from being the underdogs? You'd rather come out?
Yeah,
We
I
love
think
it.
we surprise people sometimes.
Yeah.
By being there.
Mm-hmm.
It's more
I think-
exciting when you win when you're the underdog.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Just
not
that
being
you're
undefeated
proving.
the whole season. Like
Yeah.
Right.
yeah. Not only that, I think that it's nice to show people that we are a good team, and it's so funny because even the year we won the Hawk, we were still counted out.
Mm-hmm.
It was a fluke. Foxborough shouldn't have
Yeah.
been there. They shouldn't have won it, and it was it's unfortunate. But each year we come back and we keep showing that we can play, and so yeah, I don't mind being the underdog. I don't mind being counted out because then we surprise them.
Do you guys have any like superstitions or things you do before games to get going?
yeah, we're really superstitious.
You are?
Yeah. Even just like things that we wear, like
Oh,
I
really?
forgot my socks or wear like bows in my hair or whatever. But
Yeah.
We do
Before
that
every
circle
game.
thing.
yeah, we do the
Yeah.
circle.
Before every game, we
Lay in a
we
circle.
go around, we lay in a circle, and we all go around and say one thing that you're gonna do like well in the game. Just go around and whether it's like make good clears or
Mm-hmm.
talking more and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a great idea because
Yeah.
you got to hold yourself accountable.
Yeah.
Right.
That was a
It
big
usually
thing.
helps too.
Right.
So you
Does
set a
it?
goal every game,
Yeah.
basically.
Mm-hmm.
And I never knew what they did in that circle.
Oh, really?
I never knew. They lay on the grounds in a circle and they
Mm-hmm.
just kind of hang out there, and I'm like, what are they doing? I just knew it was something they did during the games, before the games. So I'm like hoping that they hurry up.
Right. Just finish up, I guess, with the last question. What do you think the biggest key to success in winning field hockey is?
Teamwork.
Hard work.
Mm-hmm.
Hard work, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Harder you work, the better it will be, I think.
Right.
110%.
Mm-hmm.
In it
All
to
the
win
time. In it to win it.
To win it, yeah. That's our team motto
yeah,
this
it's
year.
team motto this year.
If it works, right?
Yeah,
There you
right.
go.
Good. All right. Well, thanks for your time. Good luck with your season. I hope
Thank
it
you.
all goes
Thank
well.
you.
Good luck
Thank
with school and everything. And thanks to Foxborough Cable Access for their involvement with sports. Have a good night.